Okay, young or old, when should you have kids? There's a lot of things you got to think about when you have kids. I don't know how men see it. My husband, when I got married, I knew most certainly he would want kids. We didn't plan it too much. We had discussed how many kids we would have, which I think is important. So one of the issues you're thinking about is, for me, am I ready? I can only speak from my experience. The main issue I'd be thinking is, am I ready? Can you afford it? That, for me, I don't know if I really considered that much. I just thought, am I ready? That was the big issue, but I suppose other people think that, can they afford it? Have they got the room? Who's going to look after them? And that sort of thing. Those are the real issues, especially if you're young and you're thinking about, I've got my career that I want to work on. That will play a part into whether you have them, whether you're really young or really old.
Yeah, there are pressures for people to have children, I think, at a particular age. I think there's cultural pressures, there's societal pressures, if you like, there's biological pressures, especially for women. I think culturally, there's an expectation that when you get married, you have children straight away. Like it's, you know, there's comments I think that I've even seen sort of implying that actually, that's why why would you get married if you were not going to have children? You know, it's quite, you know. Yeah. But actually, I think that's more of maybe a cultural stance, possibly, because there are many couples out there that actually have discussed it and chosen that they're just not going to have children.
Yes, absolutely.
I know that when I first got married, we decided we weren't going to have children straight away because there was just a lot of stuff we wanted to do. I just started my career. There was a lot kind of going on, and actually, I think I feel quite privileged that I've done so much before children come along, to be honest. However, if I'd had children younger, would I have felt as if I've missed out? I have no idea. I guess God's timing is always the best really for every family, I suppose. But I think the biological time clock is always a bit of an issue for the medics, because I think once you hit 30 you're seen as like a mature mother, and I think 35 is geriatric, and then you have a consultant immediately because, oh gosh, it's a high risk pregnancy because you're old, but I mean women are having children later and later, probably because of their careers. I think 10 years ago the average age was like 20 something, and now the average age is like late 20s or early 30s. So I think everyone's slightly different.
Everyone is slightly different, and it is hard to deal with. Knowing that those pressures are on you, it's hard to deal with. For me personally, I would have liked to have had your opportunity.
Okay.
But I knew that my husband, I hadn't told him, and I knew that my husband probably wouldn't see it from my point of view, and he has told me that he would never have seen it from my point of view, that, I want to wait. I think mine was off camera. I didn't want to have it.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I knew that wasn't
that would have been
that wasn't happening.
Oh yeah, give me back the dowry that I paid.
So yeah, that wasn't happening. But so we discussed it, and I think that's, there are pressures to discuss it. As long as you've discussed it with your husband and you've agreed that's the only way around it. There are obviously those issues where one wants and one doesn't, or one wants more than the other, and that causes a problem. I can't speak for anyone else. In my situation, I just felt that I came from a totally different background. Fair enough, I'm Nigerian, but I grew up in an environment where having kids when you want or whether you want was entirely your choice. And I knew I'd marry someone who would not see it that way. So I backed down. I decided to back down, but not everybody wants to.
Yeah, I agree.
I personally think people should back down. But
so you think the person that is like less indifferent should have the kind of majority vote? Is that what you mean? So the person that really wants children, their opinion kind of should override the person that doesn't?
I don't know. I think at least one person needs to be sensitive. Whoever it is, one person needs to be sensitive.
That's just marriage for you, isn't it? I guess the benefits of having them at a younger age is that you can get the children out of the way, they're up and running, and then actually you're still young enough to start a new career if you wanted to. You're still young enough to do, the world has changed now where literally the world is just like your oyster. There's nothing really that isn't sort of attainable to an extent. And in terms of gender equality as well, I know we're not quite there, but it's better. you know, than it probably was, you know, years and years ago. I guess I can only speak for myself. The advantage, I think, of having children slightly older is that there are a lot of things that I have already done. So I don't think I'm ever really going to feel unfulfilled, if that sort of makes sense. I've managed to travel the world. I've managed to have, I mean, I wouldn't call it a career change, but I've managed to work and get quite good experience in 2 completely different sectors within my industry. I can't think of the word then. My industry, which I don't think I probably would have been able to do if I'd had children at a younger age. You know. But then I guess another disadvantage is a lot of my friends had children a lot younger, so they're a completely different sort of chapter than I am now. So I think there's pros and cons to everything, but I think every situation is unique for that person, for that family, and it's it's great for what it is.
And I think, you know, as you said, like, work it out with your husband or with your wife or your partner, whoever, and make sure you're in total agreement as to what you want. They had a chat show in America, and they had that one girl who broke up with her husband because she wasn't having children, and they went into the marriage not wanting, but then he changed his mind, so they broke up. So that's a hard one.
It's like a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a bit of a deal breaker though.
What to do with it, but definitely I think the main thing, if you know you're not going to be able to back down, is work this thing out afterwards. But they had worked it out before, but they had worked it out before, and he changed his mind, and then they got divorced, which is like hectic.
But I think that's why as well that, you know, I'm sure medics, they don't offer like total hysterectomies and stuff like that to children, I'm going to say, to women under a certain age, because actually you may change your mind. You may change your mind, because I think to myself, gosh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this after I've had my baby. Focus is probably going to be completely shifted. You know, and I think it depends on people's circles as well. If you're hanging around a lot of people that really value the family unit, then you're going to start seeing what they value in that family unit. And it could just be that when those 2 people got married, they had, you know, a different circle to what they've ended up having, which has maybe caused that man to change his mind.